Dragons Live, presented by Form Communications.
Hello everyone, I'm John Webby-Webking and welcome to Dragons Live. First of all, I happily speak for all of us at MSUM Dragon Athletics and wishing you and yours a happy holidays as we get set to dive into the winter season action on today's show. We've got all the recaps for December, another jaw-dropping top 5, a mouthful of fun from our basketball assistant coaches, and our in-studio guest today, leading our frequent record-breaking season for Dragons swimming and diving, head coach Todd Peters. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, first of all, I think there's a little bit of history to get caught up on this year with the NSISC conference that now is the NSIC conference. Could you catch us up on what the NSIC swimming conference is like and how it came about?
Yeah, definitely. This is actually the first official year to have the Northern Sun Swimming and Diving Conference for women. It's been a long time in the making. It's 19 years that I've been here, and we've done a lot of different independent conferences, like 6 or 7. The last 2 years we were at the Northern Sun, the New South Conference.
It's confusing.
Yeah, it's very confusing. So we've been going to Mississippi for the last 2 years, which is a long haul. Yeah. So to finally bring it back here, it's great to be in the area. We'll be in Rochester this year, and it's really nice to just have the same type of thing that all the other sports have, to have a true conference.
Staying on the road, heading south to Sioux Falls, the women beat Augie 65-55 and followed that up the next night with a win against Wayne State 74-64. Back at home this last weekend, taking on Minnesota Duluth on Friday. Bulldogs got out to a hot start. Here, Kenzie Kane hits a 3, leaning into it there, getting the Bulldogs the lead. The Dragons would try to get back in the game as Thorson hits 3 of her, 17 points on the night. Taylor Meyer has a nice move lefty into the paint to score. And in the end, Duluth would hand the women their first NSIC loss of the season, 71-59, as the Dragon offense struggled to find the groove. The following night, the women were looking to bounce back against St. Cloud State, and they were fired up as Cass hits a big 3 early. Here, Natalie Van Wy dishes to Thorson again. Yep, another 3. St. Cloud's Andrea Thomas has a nice no-look to Brianna Johnson for the basket, but this was Cass Thorson's night all the way, as she hits 8 3-pointers to set a new single-game record for the Dragons as they down the Huskies, 95-69. Let's stick with basketball as the men took on South rival MSU Mankato. Here, Ayub gets a nice floater to fall in the first half, but it was the Mavericks' Joey Wittest hitting 3 here. He went 5 of 7 from 3-point range and ended the game with 27 points. Aaron Lean had 17, while Booyah had 13 points on the night. Wanting to end 2016 with a win, the men took on Concordia St. Paul. Here, John Doss heating up early, hits the 3 from the top of the key. Dragons out early. Brendan Matthews gets the tough fall-away shot to go for Concordia St. Paul, but this was Doss's night, however, shooting 5 of 9 from 3, scoring 19, got the party started in Nemzik as the Dragons won 74-60. AU finished with 10 points and 10 rebounds. Welcome back to Dragons Live. We're recapping all the action from the winter season. Here in studio to break down the women's basketball run to tying their best record in school history is head coach Carla Nelson. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
So when we talked about this season and we're recapping everything that kind of happened, the first game of the year at Harding, as we've talked about several times, was kind of a weird one to say the least. If I would have came up to you after that game and said, most wins in school history, conference title and NSIC North title, totally possible for this team, what would you have said?
At that point in time, probably you were crazy. But, I also knew that we were a lot better than what we had played in that particular game. And there was a lot of season ahead after that.
So what kind of led to getting that 15-game win streak so early on? And what does it take to string together that many wins that kind of defined a lot of this regular season?
Well, first off, you need a little luck, which we did have some luck. But when I look at this past this team, this past season, I thought defensively we were pretty good for the most part all year long. And then the other thing we did is we valued the basketball. Right now, statistically in Division II, we're #1 in the country in fewest turnovers per game, which for a team that I've coached is a rarity. That's never happened before. So that played a huge part in the fact that we maximize a lot of our offensive possessions. Then the other thing you have to look at is, we had tremendous leadership from Natalie Van Wy, Jess Hart, Drew Sanis, Cass Thorson. You have to have good leaders, and I thought that that's what we had, and that contributed to this, the success we had this year.
And when you compare this team, the last time you won a conference championship was the 0. Welcome back to Dragons Live. 2 college All-Americans from the same high school are sort of rare. But when your class is less than 31, it's a little bit more rare. Now make them All-Americans for the same college, and that's something special. We caught up with the pair of Wolverines, Molly Montoni and Damon Gibson, today to talk about their small town and their unique college experience.
Well, I'm from Graceville, Minnesota, and my graduating senior class is 31 people. So pretty small.
Big class?
It actually was kind of a big class. Most people only had like 20-some people in their class.
My experience at CGB was awesome. Everyone was just always so close to everyone. It just kind of seemed like it was just one big town. You get texts all the time and Facebook messages, and people just kind of, want you to do good, because I don't think they've really seen or had anyone do that, really, in a sense.
Well, the funny thing is like in high school, they had our newspaper cover sports and whatever, and I was always in that, and they actually still put me in the newspaper. They like copy and paste the articles from our website and they'll put it in the newspaper. And I'm not sure if they do that for Damon, but I'm sure they do, just because our town is so proud of like what we continue to do in college, and it makes me feel pretty good.
I'm really good friends with her brother, like I said.
Well, he's my brother's best friend, so I see him a lot, and I did in high school for sure, and he's just like one of the biggest goofballs I know. He's always been a really hard worker, and it definitely shows. Well, I actually haven't gotten to see him play, because every time he has a home game, my brother plays for Concordia, he has a home game. Oh. But I have heard about his amazing games, and like we keep track like on the website.
Here we go, it's time for the Dragons Live Top 5. At number 5, one of my favorite names to say, Courtney Selbichka gets the kill and helps the Dragons take down a thriller against Sioux Falls. What a game that was, going to 5 sets. At number 4, calling it a rough day, the unranked men's cross-country team finished 21st at the NCAA National Meet. Congratulations to them on a great year. At number 3, to football, card to the way too wide open Corey Ambrose. This juggling touchdown catch helped the Dragons pass the Northern State Wolves and give them their first 7-4 season since 1999. At number 2, got to give props to senior Molly Montoni. Coming back from a broken foot last year, she finishes 18th overall and earns All-American honors at Nationals in her first trip, the 4-time All-American. Congrats to her. And at number 1, a no-brainer, Tanner Kretschmann's cold-blooded, buzzer-beating game winner at Northern State. Wow. Here it is, and another look in slow motion. Look how high that little guy gets. Perfect form, perfect arc. Pick out your favorite reaction. Mine's Mac in the back, stomping this big thing out. Watch it over and over again. You can find it on YouTube and social media, but that is your Dragons Live Top 5 plays presented by Valley Imports. Just a few quick things before we go. Home openers for basketball this weekend include Educators Night on Saturday at 4 and 6, where any educator, elementary school, middle school, high school, gets in free with an employee ID as a thank you from all of us for your dedication to the same noble profession we here are so passionate about at MSUM. Also, be sure to use our Fired Up Fan Zone Rewards program at games to get entered to win a free car for a year, courtesy of Valley Imports. Can't afford not to? Visit MSUMDragons.com/firedup